Don't let Charles Leclerc's surprise Austrian Grand Prix podium trick you. Ferrari is starting the 2020 Formula 1 season in huge trouble, and it knows it. Compared to 2019, Ferrari is worse off in qualifying trim and on race pace, and its straight line speed is well down. The SF1000 is slightly faster than its predecessor through the corners, it seems, but team boss Matteo Binotto said it was still giving away 0.3 of a second there to the pace-setting Mercedes. Ferrari turned up in Austria with the 5th fastest car in qualifying, a second off the pace, and only one of its cars made it through to Q3. Leclerc didn't hide from Ferrari's problems after his podium finish. He said Ferrari is not satisfied with its pace and that it cannot be happy with his result while there is so much work to do to catch up. Before we examine Ferrari's problems more closely, remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel if you'd like to keep up with more from the race as the F1 season really gets going. Leclerc's gap to Valtteri Bottas in qualifying equates to a performance deficit of 1.563%, putting Ferrari behind leading midfield teams McLaren and Racing Point. While the race went Leclerc's way in its chaotic second half, the lead Ferrari had fallen more than 25 seconds adrift of Bottas before that, even with Mercedes managing reliability concerns. Last year in Austria, Leclerc was on pole, and Ferrari's average deficit across the 2019 season was just 0.149%. Leclerc's qualifying lap last weekend was 0.9 of a second slower than he managed a year ago, while Mercedes went 0.3 quicker than it did in 2019. However you measure it, Ferrari has taken a huge step backwards. Three tenths lost in the corners means Ferrari has worked out it is losing 0.7 of a second on the straights, and the speed trap figures support this. Last year, Leclerc was fastest at all the main points on the lap where speed can be measured: the speed trap, the finish line, and the end of Sector 1 where the cars are travelling faster than they are through the designated speed trap. Leclerc's 2019 qualifying speeds for these points were 325.7 km per hour, 297.1 km per hour, and 329.1 km per hour. In 2020, his speed at the same points on the lap were 312.3 km per hour, 286.3 km per hour, and 314 km per hour. Those drops were severe enough to move Ferrari from the top of the speed charts to the very bottom. The Austrian Grand Prix was the first race since the FIA's latest clampdown on potential fuel flow trickery and oil burning. Ferrari has always insisted it was doing nothing wrong, and its engine was never found to be illegal, but it did reach a confidential settlement with the FIA to end a long-running investigation, a move that upset rival teams who felt entitled to know the details. Understandably, Ferrari has dismissed any theories that the FIA's clampdown is behind its drop in top speed. Instead, it's focusing on the drag of its car, saying a miscorrelation of its aerodynamic work is holding it back. Given that Ferrari's 2019 car was considered a low drag design that couldn't generate the peak downforce of its rivals, a shift in direction plus getting its numbers wrong could result in a big swing. But Mercedes boss Toto Wolff said he couldn't listen to any more talk from Binotto about Ferrari's aero performance, suggesting he was not impressed with that theory. Ferrari has no choice but to bank on its straight line speed problems being down to drag rather than engine power. This year no upgrades are allowed on the power unit except for reliability reasons, and unlike its rivals, Ferrari couldn't bring an improved engine spec for the start of the season because of its factory time being limited by the F1 shutdown and lockdown measures in Italy. Ferrari needs more efficient aerodynamics, meaning it needs to reduce drag without having to sacrifice downforce. If it can't manage that, then any ground it makes up on the straights will be lost again in the corners. It has committed to a significant change in development direction which we are expecting to see in full for the Hungarian Grand Prix. However, even if that new package is successful, Binotto does not expect it to be a silver bullet that will instantly turn Ferrari into title contenders. What's vital is that Ferrari has got to the bottom of the correlation errors it made over the winter, so it doesn't make the same mistakes in the design phase of the new aero parts. Upcoming races at Spa and Monza, where Ferrari won last year, are unlikely to be as happy hunting grounds as they were in 2019. And even more worrying for Ferrari is the prospect of its 1000th race, which could take place on home soil at the super-fast Mugello circuit. Ferrari has got something seriously wrong with the first iteration of this car, and if it can't fix it over the coming weeks, it could be in for a double humiliation across 2 races in Italy in quick succession. For now, its focus must be on getting to the front of the midfield on merit, and then it can really start to worry about trying to fight Mercedes and Red Bull. What do you think is the reason for Ferrari's downturn in form, and can it be fixed in a matter of weeks? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel if you'd like to see more from the race.